So I was watching this program about prophecies and stuff, and it said technically Indian and Christian, religions will flourish once again in like 12,000 years from now. And that the South American beliefs will be some kind of stable in society, and it said parts of California will go under the sea, possibly caused by storms or something, or earthquake, and parts of South America will the land that used to sit by South America will rise from the water and extend the South American region to show the world what the world was once like when the land hadn't been sunk underwater. So they think there'll be some sort of shift to make either the waters decrease or the land rise up, to show that the land that once existed but has been underwater and shape the South American region and stuff. So yeah. It's supposed to have not always looked like a, a thing with a skinny tail. It was supposed to be a extended mass of land, so yeah, that was sort of the prophecy. So it was either Indian or Buddhist belief or something, and yeah. So that sort of got me thinking. It's really weird, the connections between the prophecies. They're linking them more and more to South America over other countries. You would think that with all the psychic readings and stuff, other countries would be the ones to have the more influence, because South America, religion, the culture has been dead for a long time, but they think, but it's strange that there's a revival based around the South American zone, because, and it's true, people have migrated from South America around the country and around the world, and it's standing up to be a major influence in the way people look and mixed culture, new developments and stuff. Or because, people migrated from South America to other countries and made an impact, and now they've, migrated from that other country to around the world and stuff. And it's really weird that they have such a huge flux to South America, and I think it is weird how the world's been developing with South American influence and no one really knows it. And the world's looks have changed because people from South America have expanded their genes, and it's had a positive impact. It had a negative reflux when they first migrated, but once they've been accepted, it's been positive. So it's really strange how it's actually true. Like, there's this huge South American influence all over the world. Like, there's like huge amounts of people who have, who have relatives, or past relatives, or genetic links to these migrations from South America. So I think I was just like thinking about it when I was watching. I was like, oh, it's really weird how that's actually true. Like, there is like a huge South American influence, and no one really realizes it. And so I'm sort of thinking, oh well, this is like really weird because it is true that there's heaps of fluxes of immigrated racial mixtures, and it's developed all because of his migration from South America. So I think it might actually be a little bit true, like huge influence, you know, and no one realizes it, you know. So um, so I was thinking that when I was watching this documentary, I was like, oh wow, like it is actually true, you know. There is like a huge, been a huge change because of migration from people from South America. So yeah, so I was sort of like, just go like thinking about that today, and I was like, wow, that's really weird because you know South America is like so dead, like the culture is so ancient and dead, like it hasn't been active for a long time, and it, at first when I thought, oh, all these, psychic visions and all these things, documentaries which include South America, come in, and you think, oh wow, what's South America doing there? I mean, Egypt, okay, Italy, okay, Greece, okay, but South America, you're like going, wow, this South America hasn't hardly been talked about, before. So they've always thought like the religion grew some, and now like people have found uses for the Mayan calendars and all these things, and included more and more South American into like visions of the future, um, and you wouldn't expect it, like, to be able to agree. But then I was thinking today, and I was like, wow, it is actually kind of true, And that I was thinking, the people who migrated, they might not even have even thought that they could have been somehow South American. Like, they were from South America, sure, but they were considering themselves European, or from, another country. They didn't think, oh, maybe like I'm actually South American. They weren't like thinking that. They're thinking, oh, I'm from this place, that place, that place, and they're not saying the obvious thing that they actually knew Spanish and stuff, because they're actually like South American too. So you know I have a feeling that they could have been like, I look through like South American stuff, and I'm like, wow, what if like this person who's immigrated and caused a huge rupture in the society to make a new society, what if they're like actually South American at one stage, So I was sort of thinking that, and they're like, and I was like, oh wow, that'd be like really weird, because I don't think they've ever thought of that, and stuff, and yeah. So I think that'd be really weird if they actually had been from South America before they started thinking they're from Europe or this and that, or they had, been in South America to be an inhabitant of South America at one stage before they began, venturing in all over the world, So what if they did have genetics links to South America? I mean, that would expand this like really outrageous, like someone from South America has, made this really outrageous flux, and what if they actually are linked to South America, not just migrated from South America, but they actually are linked to South America? That'd be like, opening the book of all these prophecies that link to South America and stuff. So it's like, I was like, oh wow, this is like really far out. Once you think about it, and think of the influences, and all because of immigration, you just think, oh, what if this is true and that is true, and what if they actually were connected to, this at one stage, and even though they think, oh, they're not actually, South American, they're just people think they are, but what if they were? It would be like, oh, well, this is like really weird, to have like this huge South American rebirth, and it's being told in documentaries and being prophesized about them. You're just like, oh well, this is like kind of true, which is really weird because, I mean, how could that happen? When all these other Western cultures and Western this and Western that is like the greater culture. How can that happen? And it'd be really weird if this kind of stuff would be like major influence in the future, because just because of one immigration, you know. So I was thinking about that, and I'm like, wow, this is like really outrageous. It's like, this is how it can happen. Immigration and going from there. So I was like thinking, wow, that's like really far out. you know. So I was just thinking about that, going, wow, that's like a bubbles all over my head, going, wow, that's like really weird. So that was sort of my thought today, my amazement of the day while I was watching this like 3 hour long documentary. I was like going, oh, this is like so spacey, so outrageous, but it's so freaky that when you realize, oh wow, that's like true, so it's like really, really cool, to realize that, and to it'd be interesting to have everything develop, and it's like, wow, far out, So yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like going, I was sort of like seeing stars and going, wow, this is like really weird, freaky. When you suddenly realize, oh, this has happened, it has happened. And yeah, and so it's gonna be really spaced out to see like the development of the future. It'll be like, oh wow, like this has happened. It's really weird. I think.